Let's talk about Poland for a second. One of the few nations in Europe that apparently still has a SAC. Poland's currently facing sanctions from Russia because of the removal of Soviet era monuments from World War II and during the USSR afterwards because of a new Polish law that says they're going to remove 400 such monuments. Russia says that over 600,000 Soviet soldiers and officers died in Poland fighting Germany and are buried there. This, of course, leaves out little details like the Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact signed in Moscow on August 23, 1939, which was a non-aggression pact between Germany and Russia that guaranteed that both countries would seize Poland and divide it up. This lasted until Operation Barbarossa, when Nazi Germany attacked the Soviet Union. Ironically, trains full of grains and other goods were headed west into Germany from Russia, even as the Wehrmacht was invading east, the two literally passing each other. Also absent from Russia's angry pose towards Poland's removal of such monuments are little details like the Katyn massacre of over 22,000 Polish officers by the NKVD, the Soviet secret police, and the post-World War II occupation of Poland and forcing it to become a satellite state of the USSR. While I see no reason at all for Poland not to remove the monuments of Soviet-era generals and the like, I think that the monuments to the Soviet dead should, for the most part, just be left in place, as there were 600,000 men and women that died fighting the Nazis regardless of the USSR's actions. This brings us to Poland's continuing stance on telling the EU to go fuck itself. The EU is also aiming sanctions at Poland, some of which are aimed at telling Poland it can't log a primeval forest as it is one of Europe's last, even though it is in Poland. While I would hate to see the last primeval forest in Europe disappear, it is in the borders of Poland, and, let's face a fact here. It's theirs. Maybe if the rest of Poland hadn't destroyed all of their primeval forests, this wouldn't be an issue. And of course, there's the migrant issue. Poland remains steadfast in telling the EU to fuck off. Poland isn't taking any migrants, they can eat it. The EU is furious over this, as well as extending that fury towards Hungary, who's kind of joined Poland in this whole saying the EU can go pound sand. They're not taking any more migrants either. The EU has threatened to enact Article 7, an EU law that's aimed at human rights abuses, and one that, if enacted, removes the targeted nation's ability to vote in the EU. Sound familiar? It should, since it basically equates to taxation without representation, since Poland pays into the EU and would no longer have a vote on anything that happens there. Something sort of like this caused a bit of a ruckus back in the US back in the 1700s with England. However, since Article 7 requires a unanimous vote to be enacted, Poland should be fine, as Hungary won't vote for it any more than Poland would vote for it to enact it against Hungary. So where does that leave us? Well, the UE's power is still dwindling even more after Brexit. Russia is ramping up hostilities in Europe in a bid to recreate the power of the USSR, and European nations are at each other's throats. Sounds a lot like Europe since Europe was a thing. Gjallarhorn may be sounding a lot sooner than we all thought. Hopefully not, but it is entirely possible.